Hey guys, day 55. Out here again, got my vest on, 30-pound vest. Just doing my workout. As you know, yesterday I had a little bit of a rough time. I didn't even do a full video, I just did a short. But yeah, I'm out here today. I felt better after my workout yesterday, and I did a second follow-up video for that. But yeah, so today we're going to talk about what is worth fighting for. You know, and I was thinking about this, you know, just in a lot of different ways, right? What are the things I've fought for in my life? Sorry, this sun is really getting me here. But yeah, I mean, so I've been thinking about it on my lap here, and I kind of came up with some ideas. Basically, we fight for what has value to us, what we put value on, right? And, you know, there's things that we can fight for, right? We can say, okay, we'll fight for our job. We're going to fight for our family. We're going to fight for our country. We're going to fight for, I don't know, ego, you know, or somebody disrespects you, right? And then there's also survival, right? These are different things that we might fight for. I mean, there's plenty of others, right? But these are just some of the things I've thought about. And, so first, as far as ego, you know, a lot of times I can be set off by somebody in a car, right? Somebody honks their horn at me and flicks me off or whatever, and or somebody bumps into me, or you know, it's like rude or whatever. You know, these things are more ego driven, right? And at the time, I think, okay, I'm not going to let this person disrespect me or punk me or whatever you might want to say, right? But after I think about it afterwards, I'm like, was it really worth it? Was he really worth my time and effort to get upset or angry or whatever? So I don't really think ego is that important. I mean, of course, like, as a man, I think if you feel like somebody got over on you, then it's like, you'll think about these things over time, right? You're like, oh man, I shouldn't have did that. You know, I think it's more of a guy thing, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, is your life really worth, you know, something stupid, right? They could have a gun, they could have a knife, whatever else, and you're doing it based on your ego or self-respect or whatever you might want to say. But yeah, so there's that. And then I think about fighting for your country. You know, why do you fight for your country, right? Is it just the idea, like America, you know, freedom, all this stuff, right? Or is it really more specific? Like, is it about your family, right? You want your kids to have a safe place to live. You don't want some other country coming in and destroying your future generations, right? And I think that's more what it comes down to, right? I think even like your job, right? You might fight for your job, but why are you fighting for your job? Is your job really that important to you? Or is it that your job is important to you because you want to provide for your family? So, I don't know. I started thinking about it. I'm like, it really comes down to family, right? I mean, what is most valuable to me? You know, it's my family, right? I think it's because, you know, you put effort into your family. It might be some kind of innate animal behavior too, but when it comes down to it, I really think that the reason to fight is for your family, for yourself also, right? I mean, somebody's going to try to hurt me. I'm not going to sit there and just let them hurt me. I'm definitely going to defend myself. So that's worth fighting for. And it might be because, you know, there's a lot of reasons, but yeah, I think it really comes down to family. So, boy, this sun is really bad today. But yeah, it basically comes down to, you know, family for me. And then it's like, you know, I have kids, I have stepkids, and I have currently still a wife. You know, what is worth fighting for? Are they all worth fighting for? Why are they all worth fighting for? Right? And you know, my kids, I raised them, right? I put effort into them, put a lot of time and effort and love and everything else into my kids. And I want their future to be great. I want them to prosper with my guidance and help so that they can be successful in life. And So there's like a ownership, I guess, about that. And then I think about my marriage, and yeah, I think it's worth fighting for, right? And there's things that have been done, and then there's things that, her behaviors and how she acts, right? And will those ever change? Or will I just constantly be fighting to fighting a losing battle, basically, And I think in order to fight for somebody, they had to be fighting for themselves as well. Like my kids, they're all, doing well, trying to be successful, trying to have good lives, trying to be independent. And I support that 100%. So now, if they're not doing that, then it kind of changes things for me, right? I mean, will I still fight for them? Yes, but will I be successful? Probably not, because you can't force somebody to live right and do the right thing. So I think that's what it really comes down to, right? A person has to be a mutual thing. That person has to want to save themselves, want to fight for themselves in order for you to fight for them. Because otherwise it's doomed to fail. It just is. Just think about somebody who, I don't know, has a drug addiction. If you can stress and fight and try to get them in the right treatments and everything else, but if they don't want to make the change themselves, it's never going to change. It's just going to waste a lot of money, a lot of effort, and time, and then they're just going to still continue doing drugs or die. So it has to be a two-way street in some ways, especially with family. So I guess the other thing is, like not only family, but like fighting for your country, right? I think about like these guys back in the Revolutionary War, the courage to stand up for what you thought is right and what is wrong, to stand up to such a powerful country of, England at that time. Something else, just to think about it, right? So a lot of people died. Family, like, it was like one side you got the family, other side you got the Britons, but there's some of those intermixed and everything else. So what a mess, right? But people felt like they had to fight for it. Same with Civil War. So many people died in that war. It's just sickening. But it's just the idea of fighting for what you feel is right. Like I know when a terrorist flew the planes into the World Trade Center and into the Pentagon, I wanted to go fight. And as you know, I tried to go into the military before, and I got denied 3 times. And the third time, I decided I couldn't afford it because it was making too much money. But I decided to go work for a place that specialized in catching the bad guys or killing the bad guys. And that was my goal, right? Gave me purpose, gave me motivation to do my job even better. Now, I was not on the front lines, but I made the computer systems much better, much faster, more efficient with what we had. And I put my brain power to something that was very important to me. So, but, there was a lot of reasons for that, right? It's just, it really comes down to, I don't want them terrorizing my kids, my future grandkids, my family. It's the first time our country's been attacked on our soil like that. And it really came down to my family. Yeah, I wanted to get the bad guys, but why did I want to get the bad guys? I didn't want them terrorizing my family, people I love. And to me, that's what it comes down to. Fighting for the people you love. Now, I guess you gotta think about the value of your family too, right? Now, my kids, I love them no matter what. And I would give my life for my kids, right? Because that's my future generation. I've lived a good life, and it's worth it. Just to keep the generations in the future coming. So, I don't know, this is how I think. Now, for a wife, I think a wife that is selfless to you, a wife that gives herself completely to you, loves you, does things for you, makes an effort every single day to bring a smile to your face. Selfless woman, or a selfless husband. I think those are things worth giving your life for. Somebody who is self-centered, somebody who only cares about themselves, and let's just say a person who how do I say this? Let's just say a woman who, or a man who's only focused on themselves, doesn't care about growing the family. This really basically comes down to taking ownership. And I tell people this at work, in just a work life, in order to be successful in life, you have to take ownership. You have to put your heart and soul into it. Just kind of like what I did when I went to work for that other group to catch the bad guys. I took ownership of it. I wanted to figure out how can I make it better? How can I fix the problems? How can I make it faster to make it more efficient for the guys out there doing the heavy lift out there? And that's what I did. I took ownership. It was important to me. So if you have a partner that doesn't take ownership of the relationship, is that worth fighting for? Or is it just the idea of family that you fight for? Or the idea of having a wife or a husband? I don't know. It's a hard decision. It's a hard question to think about. Yeah, because my kids, even, if they were a heroin addict or something, God forbid, there's no way I could save them. Giving my life for them would not save them. They're going to do what they want to do. They're going to do their thing. So I guess I wouldn't, because I still get other kids that love me. It's a hard question. And I really think it comes down to they have to take their part. They have to make their efforts as well. So I think there you go. You can't fight for something where the other person is not going to fight as well. You have to fight together to make something good and worth fighting for. I think that's the end of it. Right there. Well, glad we talked that out, guys. I know. But sometimes I gotta think about these things, get out here, get my blood flowing a little bit, and think about things. But anyways, hope you guys liked the video. If you did, subscribe, like, and we'll see you on the next one. Alright guys, see ya.